today's episode of Hubris Syndrome make me want to grind. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I got another two-part anime-style arc. I've been hanging out with the allies too much, mainly Ben Moore and Bossman, ranting about JoJo. Let's get started. Today we're talking about stories and why they're important because a little-known gem called Grand Kingdom just came out a little while back, and it is phenomenal. It is a tactical JRPG, turn-based strategy board game, that's a mouthful, and playing this game is just a pleasure. It is beautiful to look at, and the combat is some of the most engaging I've played since, I don't know, like Tales of Symphonia or something back then. Just, it really hooked me straight away, but there's one problem. This game basically has no story. You wake up, you're the leader of a mercenary band, and the world is war-torn. There's 4 different factions all fighting for each other. There's no clear motivation for why they're fighting. It's just kind of accepted that you're gonna fight, get some money, and your right-hand man likes to get drunk. It's very paper thin with the focus being on the combat. But that just isn't enough for me. I know I'm gonna sound like I'm whining right now, but hear me out. Let's talk this out together, everyone. So, the combat is so fun, you know, getting in these battles, it's very tactical, it's all about positioning, there's friendly fire, there's timing, but I need a reason to keep going. I need a reason to fight, not just this endless loot chase, this endless number chase, ranking up, finding different weapons. I need a motivation. Make me care about the world, about the characters. To compare it to Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King, my favorite JRPG of all time, I keep fighting in that game. I keep fighting the same slimes and dragons and skeletons because I want to hear the next bit of story about Yangus, about Jessica, about the king and his daughter that got transformed by the evil Dolmegus. It's enough of a carrot on the stick for me to keep going to discover the secrets. So I've kind of hate what I've become, you know, I need a story to keep going. And speaking of Dragon Quest, another game I didn't finish because the story was so bad was Dragon Quest Heroes. You know, Musou game, not typically story-driven. That game is just beautiful to look at. It's got all these classic Dragon Quest heroes making an easy alliance, and there's just no reason for me to keep going, though. I can only hack and slash so much without just asking myself, why? But it's not always the case. Every game doesn't need a story. You know, Super Mario doesn't have a story. So it just really has to do with grinding, I guess. Chasing numbers, leveling up, getting better loot. If it is just this endless cycle, then I need a story to get through. Whereas something like Mario, each level tells a story. You like that, Bossman? Each level is a different story. It is a different environment. It is changing enough to motivate me to keep going, to see what levels lie ahead. And of course, when multiplayer becomes a factor, you don't really need a story. You know, I could endlessly grind in Diablo 3 or even Destiny, or dare I even say The Division, as long as some buddies are at my back, preferably Brad Ellis checking my 6. So I hope I didn't lose any fans today. I know Ben Moore right now is just sweating somewhere, very upset. You know, I usually pull this argument about a lot of JRPGs. That's why I don't finish so many, is because I just need characters that I care about. Give me a reason to care, Japan! If you agree, disagree, let me know. I am at Michael P. Huber. Let's talk about stories. Let's talk about JRPGs. Let's talk about games. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, we are easy allies. You can find us on Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, all the social medias. We're just hanging out, streaming every day, talking about video games. Keep the good vibes flowing. See you next week. It's time for Hubris Syndrome. Speaking of stories, speaking of grinding, speaking of making me care, check out Barry Lyndon, a 3-hour epic from Stanley Kubrick that is challenging to get through, but when you do, you will be happy. Or sad, it's pretty depressing.